This is my children's first time up here at Misty Mountain. I'm not really sure why it's taken me so long to get them here. My dad has owned this property for something like 15 years, and I used to spend a lot of my time here before my children were born. About 20 years ago, I became completely fascinated with a type of building called an earthship. Back then I was young, wildly ambitious, and I was convinced that I could figure everything out with enough determination. I think I'm still pretty young, and I do still think that we can figure anything out with enough determination. But I actually started digging into one of the hillsides behind me in this video, and it didn't go very well. I had some fun nights with some friends, but overall I kind of let myself down. I failed. I gave up. But not really gave up, because looking back I can laugh about it. I was passionate, but I wasn't ready. I just didn't know enough. But something happened up here that never really left me, and it wasn't the earthship itself that captivated me. It was a question. Why do we build houses that fight the earth instead of working with it? The earth already does something remarkable. A few feet below the surface, the temperature stays surprisingly stable throughout the year. That's not some hidden secret, it's basic physics. Yet somehow we've designed most modern houses as though the ground that they're sitting on has nothing to offer. That question sent me down a rabbit hole that I've been exploring for nearly 20 years. Earthships, adobe, cob, straw bale, rammed earth, stone, passive solar design, thermal mass, thermal gain, ancient buildings, hempcrete, modern building techniques. If I could learn from it, I wanted to. I still do. What fascinated me was never being different for the sake of being different. I wasn't attracted to these ideas simply because they were unconventional. It was understanding why certain buildings seem to belong to the landscape instead of simply occupying it. Along the way, I noticed something else. A lot of alternative buildings solved interesting engineering problems, but they also looked unconventional. And I realized that, fair or unfair, most people make up their minds about a building in the first few seconds they see it. I knew that most of those buildings I came to adore were never going to make it in the mainstream. That started another question. Can a building embrace the physics of the earth while also feeling timeless, even familiar or beautiful? Not beautiful because it's unusual, but beautiful because something about it simply feels right. I've been carrying that question with me ever since. 10 years ago, I became a contractor. People sometimes ask why I went into remodeling, and the truth is pretty simple. Besides the licensing, I wanted an education. I wanted to understand framing, concrete, electrical, plumbing, carpentry, excavation, every trade that I can get my hands on. Not because I planned to remodel forever, but because I knew that one day I'd have to build the things that I have been imagining, that I have been designing. The last decade has taught me an incredible amount. It has also shown me what I don't want to build. This is just my opinion, but I think that too many modern houses are built with the expectation that they'll be remodeled or rebuilt, renovated, replaced. They're lightweight, they're flimsy, and they're super flammable. They don't stand up to the elements without constant maintenance, and they definitely don't stand up to most natural disasters. They're dependent on constant inputs. You have to have electricity, natural gas, and water running into the house, otherwise it's just a big glorified box. They're disconnected from the place they're built. That has never sat well with me. I want to build things that feel permanent, buildings with thick walls, buildings that become more beautiful as they age, buildings that people care for instead of tear apart. I want to build buildings with a soul. I know that's a strange thing to say about architecture, but I believe it. A building carries the intentions of the people who made it, and maybe even the intentions of the people who have been there long. You can feel the difference. For a long time, I thought I needed to become wealthy before I was allowed to begin building these ideas. Before I was allowed to begin building Kinshire or my greater vision of kin domains. I told myself that I was just being responsible. I was waiting until everything lined up perfectly. Then I realized something recently. Waiting for wealth had quietly become a permission slip. It wasn't actually bringing me any closer to the work. It was keeping me from starting. And if you never start, you never have to fail, and you never have to see an imperfect version of your plan. I didn't realize that I was using that as a protective mechanism to keep my idea pure and pristine, I guess. So anyway, I'm done waiting, and I'm done with that. So this channel isn't about pretending I have it all figured out. It's so far from that. There are people out there who know way more than I ever could about stone, timber framing, earth building, water management, engineering, and so many other subjects. I hope that I get to meet them. I hope they teach me. I hope we get to collaborate. Learning is one of my very favorite parts of building. Learning is my favorite thing in general. I've always been a bookworm, and I love to study things and find new, like when you think you know something, and then you see somebody do it totally differently, and you're like, huh, I never thought of that. I love those moments. But this channel is really about documenting the process of bringing a 20-year vision into reality. That vision is called Kinshire. I'm not trying to build a theme park. I'm not trying to recreate a fantasy world. This is not a cosplay venue. I'm trying to build places that feel deeply human and allow us to really connect with that deeply human aspect of ourselves. Places that work with the land instead of against it. Places built from materials that have stood the test of time. Stone, earth, timber, craftsmanship. This first structure is going to be small. That's intentional. In fact, all the structures on this land are going to be small. I'm learning to stop waiting for permission. I'm beginning anyway. Most of what you're watching in this video is me preparing the site, leveling areas for camp, getting familiar with the land again, and taking the first real steps towards construction. It's not glamorous, but every lasting project begins with work that nobody notices or even cares about. Over the next few weeks, I'll be finishing the design for the first cottage, preparing the excavation, and hopefully getting some equipment up here to begin the heavier earthwork. Just taking it one step at a time. One footing, one wall, one building. Eventually, if I stay faithful to the work, I hope this becomes something much bigger than a single cabin, or even a single village. But today, it's just a hillside. It's just me and my shovel and my pickaxe. It's a vision that I've carried for 20 years, and finally the decision to stop waiting to share it. If that sounds like a journey you'd enjoy following, I'd love to have you along. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Let's get to work.
Happy to kiss my children, lay them down to sleep. Smiles across their faces, dogs dreaming at their knees. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Glad to be alive, grateful for a good ride. Keep it growing, keep the flame in my heart alive. Nurture the vibe, not bottled up inside. Let it out in song, feel the way to my path in life.